JP, the Doomsday Economist. JP has his own website. He makes economic forecasts and political commentary based on astrological interpretations and psychic experiences. I'm sure that Cambridge will have a lot of questions for you.
Hopefully.
Now, how can our viewers get to your website, which gives
You can
more
look for the Spirit of Truth page. When I say look for, that means go to Yahoo and look it up, because Yahoo will take you directly there. Or you can look for conspiracy news or stock market update. And after you look for that in Yahoo, the link will come up, stock market update or conspiracy news. And just click on that and that will get you to one of my pages.
Now, the Spirit of Truth,
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
Spirit of Truth, it's another word for the Holy Spirit.
Uh-huh. So there is a religious element in your theories.
Oh, absolutely. It's basically drawn from biblical prophecy more than anything else, based upon my experiences surrounding biblical prophecy, which we'll be getting into.
Okay. Well, let her rip. Why don't you just let Cambridge know what you're
Maybe we
thinking?
should introduce
Please do.
my welcome friend here, Physics Phil. He is now a doctor, PhD, just got his PhD, so he's Dr. Phil to you or me. And he'll just be sitting in the background looking really annoying.
And really pretty.
Yep. All right, now, where was I going to begin here? Well, let's get into my experiences. Back during the Gulf War, in February of 1991, during the first week of February, I was watching TV and I saw, about 11 p.m., I saw a special report of a chemical scud attack in Israel. It was Tom Brokaw right there saying, we have a correspondent in Tel Aviv, I'm sorry, Haifa, it was Haifa, Israel right now, and they went to the correspondent and he said, yeah, there's a Scud missile attack underway and chemical weapons are involved. And as soon as it came on, the report went off. I checked all the stations. I actually yelled to all the guys on the floor. I was in the college dorm at the time, saying, you know, Saddam went and did it. He hit Israel with chemical scuds. And so everybody was curious. And we were watching the news, checking through the stations. There was no other reports. So I thought that odd.
Now, there are no illicit substances here. I mean,
No, that was
no acid,
straight as
no
could
ecstasy,
be. That's right.
no, okay.
I just saw the special report. It was just like seeing a special report. And the next day I checked all the news wires and everything else, and no such attack occurred, no such special report aired. I checked with NBC, nothing. So I thought that kind of weird, and I was thinking that maybe I had some sort of premonition or whatnot, but I was kind of passing it off.
Could have been a dream.
Could have been a dream. No, it couldn't have been. I mean, it was as awake as we are right now, like watching that monitor, and all of a sudden we see a special report. And then about a week after that, I was with a friend who just got interested in Nostradamus, and so I showed him some books on Nostradamus, and then I decided to show him a prophecy from the Bible that I've been following since I was young because I believe it depicts a future nuclear war. And as I started reading this prophecy, all of a sudden both of us heard an air raid siren. And after a couple cycles of the air raid siren, we heard a nuclear explosion to the point where we were scared enough to actually run out of the building, try and figure out what the heck's going on. Ran over to the library to get in the basement, for safety, and called the fire department to find out what was going on. No sirens had sounded, nothing else. And so that was the second experience.
Could have been a gas alarm.
No. Then by connecting the two, I said, well, what we have here is the Persian Gulf War. It was during the Persian Gulf War. Somehow is it going to lead to a chemical scud attack in Israel and then to a nuclear war? And once I started asking those questions, I did some research and I found out that the Soviet involvement in the whole Gulf War was much larger than anybody understood at the time. But let me get into the prophecy, actually, that was connected with that experience here in Aries Signs. We got time?
Sure.
Okay. This prophecy is from the book of Revelation. It's chapter 8. It's called the Seventh Seal Prophecy. And it goes like this. When the Lamb opened the seventh seal, there was silence in heaven for about half an hour. Then I saw the 7 angels who stand before God, and 7 trumpets were given to them. And another angel came and stood at the altar with a golden censer. And he was given much incense to mingle with the prayers of all the saints upon the golden altar before the throne. And the smoke of the incense rose with the prayers of the saints from the hand of the angel before God. Then the angel took the censer and filled it with fire from the altar and threw it on the earth. And there were peals of thunder, loud noises, flashes of lightning, and an earthquake. Now the 7 angels who had the 7 trumpets made ready to blow them. The first angel blew his trumpet, and there followed hail and fire mixed with blood, which fell on the earth. And a third of the earth was burnt up, and a third of the trees were burnt up, and all green grass was burnt up. The second angel blew his trumpet, and something like a great mountain burning with fire was thrown into the sea. And a third of the sea became blood, and a third of the living creatures in the sea died, and a third of the ships were destroyed. The third angel blew his trumpet, and a great star fell from heaven, blazing like a torch, and it fell on a third of the rivers and on the fountains of water. The name of the star is Wormwood. A third of the waters became wormwood, and many men died of the water because it was made bitter. The fourth angel blew his trumpet, and a third of the sun was struck, and a third of the moon, and a third of the stars, so that a third of their light was darkened, and a third of the day was kept from shining, and likewise a third of the night. Then I looked, and I heard an eagle crying with a loud voice as it flew in mid-heaven, Woe, woe, woe to those who dwell on the earth at the blast of the other trumpets, which the 3 angels are about to blow. Now, that prophecy strikes me as a rather graphic depiction from somebody 2,000 years ago seeing a global nuclear war.
So you feel that these supernatural experiences you had, combined with the indicators in the Bible of a nuclear war, as well as current world events, indicate that
that's where we're headed.
We're about to have a nuclear war.
Well, yeah, I mean, this prophecy, I already had thought depicts a future nuclear war, but my experience confirmed that in terms of hearing air raid signs and nuclear explosions, along with somebody else in connection with it. And not only did it confirm it, but it seemed to indicate that it was prescient, that it was something that was, for our time. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I mean, and I'll go through this real quick. First off, it talks about a space of half an hour at the beginning of that prophecy. Mm-hmm. That's the time it takes for ICBMs to traverse their orbits from Soviet Union, or now Russia, to the United States. And that's followed by peals of thunder, loud noises, flashes of lightning, and an earthquake. It's nuclear explosions. And then a third of the earth is burnt up, all the green grass, the massive fires that would follow nuclear war. And then it talks about a great star that fell from heaven, wormwood, poisoning the water. Well, that's interesting because in the prophecy, the word wormwood is actually capitalized and emphasized. The Ukrainian word for wormwood is Chernobyl. So it seems that Chernobyl is the wormwood, radioactive poisoning, and that would explain why many men died of the water that was made bitter by this wormwood. It's